Today we're going to be talking about another Stanley Kubrick film called Barry Lyndon. This is the first time I've ever actually seen this movie, actually heard of it. I found it in the film set where I've been finding a lot of these Stanley Kubrick films. It's from Warner Brothers, released January 1st, 1975, starring Ryan O'Neal, and obviously it was produced, it was written, adapted for the screen from the book, and directed by Stanley Kubrick, who if you haven't seen the last few videos, or you know for some reason don't know who he is, he's the one who's done like 2001: A Space Odyssey, The Shining, A Clockwork Orange, Full Metal Jacket, and a couple other big films. But yeah, Barry Lyndon. This is one of his longer pieces. Actually, it's probably the longest one he's done. It's at 3 hours and 20 minutes long. So get ready for a long marathon of this. But yeah, basically, Barry Lyndon is a guy, Irish rogue guy in Britain, and it takes place in like the 1800s during the Civil War, and he basically disguises himself. He takes over, not disguises himself. He basically marries a widow and pretends to be her husband and cheats his way to the top of high British society, and people start getting wind of it, and it starts going downhill. So, basic first half of the film is pretty interesting. Um, it's basically you meet the main character, you meet Barry Lyndon basically, and he basically goes off to war. He loses like one of his best friends from family in the war. So he's already off to have bad luck. This is the way I interpreted this movie. It might be a little different than most people's interpretation of it, but yeah. Anyways, he yeah, when he marries her, then yeah, it starts going a little better, and he's starting to go to like these high society dinners and everything like that, and it starts to sink in that people are starting to realize that he's not who he says he is, and you see a lot of disturbing, upsetting type scenes in it that that makes you feel dreadful through the film. But the way Stanley Kubrick shot this, it was actually really moving, not in the good sense though, but you actually feel for him and stuff like that, even though what he did was wrong and stuff. But yeah, and there's tons of it. I might spoil some of it, by the way. But so continuing on, once the bad stuff starts happening, like his wife tries to poison herself, the his son dies, and yeah, and then the whole society all starts turning on him, and he doesn't know where to go, and he's always like left in a mental mindset, which a lot of people can relate to, I think, today to this film, because like yeah, it was made back in the 70s, took place in the 1800s, but there's still a lot of problems and stuff like that that happen to these days that a lot of people can relate to, and trying to fit in and trying to find your way and stuff like that, and some people just take the wrong routes. So overall, this film is really well constructed. It like I said, it's a long one, so be prepared for a long pace, but it doesn't feel long. The pacing in this film is actually really good. Now, with other Stanley Kubrick films like 2001: Space Odyssey and stuff, it tends to go pick up, go back, and then slow down a bit, and then you go through like the Odyssey, and then it picks up again with the characters and stuff. This one is just like a constant, well constructed scene to scene progression, and it feels like an hour and a half movie, even though it's three and a half, almost 3.5 hours. So with that, I thought it was pretty well done pacing wise. Acting is really well done, obviously, and there's actually a cool fact. I think it might be a rumor, but I'm not 100% sure on it. But apparently, for some of the candlelit scenes, so now when especially back in the 70s, when you filmed like, apparently when you filmed like dark scenes and stuff with candlelight, that actually makes like the characters really dark. So Stanley Kubrick had to rent a special lens from NASA, that they used on the space shuttle to get like pictures of Earth and stuff. Use that to catch the candlelit dinner scenes and stuff like that, and catch the actors' expressions and that. And I thought that was pretty neat. And just the way he constructs his whole film, was pretty elaborate and really well done. It was way better than I was expecting it to be. It starts off like a Pride and Prejudice type tale, but goes in a way different direction and stuff that you don't really see anymore. And it's definitely one of those ones where if you want to watch a movie with an emotional experience to it, this is one of the ones you should watch. Basically, this is the precursor to Full Metal Jacket. It's sort of like you feel the same way, except not with the war part stuff. This one's more of a young guy trying to find his way in society, basically. And yeah, it's very moving. I can't say that enough. But yeah, they also do like the six paces turn around and shoot each other scene and stuff, which is heartbreaking but amusing at the same time. But yeah, and when it concludes, you don't get a solid conclusion of like happiness or sad. It's more just hung up, left in the air for you to decide. And you don't see that in films very, very often anymore, especially nowadays. Nowadays, it's like huge franchise and everyone somehow lives happily ever after. But that's one thing I like about Stanley Kubrick. You can never tell how he's going to end a film and construct it. It's like The Shining. It's sort of like left open a bit to interpretation and stuff. So I may see it one way, you may see it another, and that's one great thing about Stanley Kubrick films. That's why I find most of them like last this long, like last decades and decades. You could dissect as much as you want, but everyone's going to perceive it differently. But I absolutely really enjoyed this film. The action scenes are really good. Acting's really good. The music suited it perfectly. It was beautifully shot, and I don't think there's very many flaws at all with this. Even like I said earlier, even the pacing was good. So Barry Lyndon, I'm going to give this a perfect score out of 5. I'm pretty sure it was nominated for some Academy Awards. I'm not sure if it won or not. I still have to look into that, but yeah, this is definitely one more people need to check out and see. They definitely need to find it and check it out. Just be prepared. It's a long ride. So, yeah, but with COVID and everything like that, we have all the time in the world. So definitely check out Barry Lyndon, especially if you're a Stanley Kubrick fan. Yeah, so I'll link a trailer down below. Usually doesn't do it justice, so but if you want to check it out and you've never heard of it, or if you forgot about this movie, check out the trailer down below. Also, check out my Instagram down below. That's linked down below as well. I post clips of films I'm going to review in the future on my story, and look for the hashtag where I put the title and a hashtag somewhere in the film clip, and yeah, that's the one I'll be talking about next. So also make sure you like this video, share it so more people can be aware of it, and yeah, if you let me know what you thought of this film down below in the comments. I'd love to hear if you loved it as much as I did. Did you absolutely hate this movie? I'd love to hear about it. And yeah, make sure you subscribe because you don't really know what I'm going to talk about next. I'm still going to be doing another Stanley Kubrick. I still got at least 2 more that I want to do, so maybe a third. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, and then after, who knows what I'm going to talk about. So make sure you subscribe because I talk about all things movies and stuff on here. So yeah, subscribe. Also, if you have other films that you want me to check out in the future, comment those down below. I'll try my hardest to get to them as soon as I can. But with that, Barry Lyndon was awesome. And I think I might watch Full Metal Jacket next. Maybe. I know I reviewed The Shining before, but I might revisit that one too. Who knows? I'll see you in the next review.